I hand over this to Prabhu, Prasadeshwara Prabhu, to continue.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Prabhu, once again. Ravipati Prabhu, you can record it.
Prabhuji. Started.
Are you able to see the screen, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu.
1634. Okay.
Yes, yeah. So we will start. Before that, I request my wife to do 2 minutes kirtan. Is that okay?
Yes, Prabhu. Please.
Okay, go ahead. Go. Start.
Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradari Jaya Girivaradari Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Prabhupada Jaya, Prabhupada Jaya, Prabhupada Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna Mahamantra ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Gurudev ki jai, Anta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Dhirayate Nastaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttamasloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtaki Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangam Langayate Girim Yatkripa Tamaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuram Militamena Tasme Shri Guruve Namaha Nama Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyatya Deshatarani Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So, first of all, like to express my sincere gratitude to His Grace Shyamsundar Jagannath Prabhu and Haridas Varya Prabhu and Satish Govinda Prabhu for giving me this opportunity to speak today. I'm actually very, I don't know whether he knows or not. I will like to reveal today. My Krishna consciousness, actually, seriousness started from Prabhuji. I'll tell you how and why, because remember maybe around 2002 or 2003 sometime, my wife was of course connected before that, so I was not very even though connected here and there, I was not very serious. So that is in summer vacation time. All devotees were planning to go to Mathura Muscat from Abu Dhabi. They had arranged a bus, so they requested me. So I mean, nothing else to do, wife is not there, so I thought, let me go. So I joined them. So my fortunate that in the bus I was sitting next to His Grace Satish Govinda Prabhu, and in the conversation somewhere he has
I think sound stuck, Prabhuji.
Prabhu, we are not able to hear you.
Prabhu,
Hare
video
Krishna.
also disconnected, audio also disconnected.
He's angry.
Prabhu, you can pause the record.
So I don't know where did I stop, but what did you hear? I'm not sure.
You were mentioning about
Oman.
he turning to you and
To
saying
Oman.
something. You kept us in a cliffhanger.
Okay. So I was mentioning that how His Grace Satyajit Govinda Prabhu is instrumental in my life to coming to Krishna consciousness, So yeah, I was mentioning that the devotees were going from Abu Dhabi, Pradesh to Mathura Pradesh. So summer vacation, so they requested me to join. So nothing else to do, so I joined. So for my fortunate, Satyajit Govinda Prabhu was sitting next to me in the bus. So of course we are Kannadigas, we were discussing in Kannada. So in the process, Prabhu asked, "Are you still taking non-veg?" I said, yes. So Prabhu, I don't know. He said, Prabhu, can you stop that? I think that's the word hit my heart. And that is the last day. After that, I'm not taken. So that's where my actual Krishna consciousness started from that day onwards. So I'm really indebted to Prabhu on that. So of course, even today, whenever there is anything I discuss with Prabhu, so my Diksha Guru is my mentor. So thank you, Prabhu, for that. So just to continue our discussion. So yesterday we had a very wonderful introduction to Chitraketu's pastimes and prayer. His Grace Shamsun Jagannath Prabhu gave a very nice background. So I'll not touch much upon that. So before that, I would like to speak few words about the prayer, because all this time we are discussing on prayers. So what is prayer? So if you look at some grammatical or dictionary meanings, it says that a solemn request to help or express of thanks addressed to God or another deity. This could be the one definition of prayer. A prayer means earnest request made by some who is more powerful. So to whom we pray? We pray someone who higher to us. For example, in the normal court of law, the lawyer, they pray, they say, my Lord, for judge, in a purely materialistic. Now we are talking about the prayers of the greatest devotees, the prayers of pure devotees. So the power of the prayers is so powerful and so impactful in our life, that prayers are the life of a devotee. So prayer means an humble position. Unless somebody takes a humble position, we cannot pray. Now in the Chitraketu pastime also yesterday, Shamsun Jagannath Prabhu said how the heart of Chitraketu is transformed, how because of Angira and Narada, he understood the real position of Supreme Lord. Of course, he had darshan of Supreme Lord, but we in our life we may not have a personal deity, personal darshan of Supreme Lord, but we can have deity darshan of Supreme Lord in the form of deity, and that changed the heart of Chitraketu, and from that he is pouring out the prayers to Supreme Lord. So it's an expression of thought. Prayer is what? An expression of thought, of consciousness, of feelings. We are sharing our feelings. We have seen many times Srila Prabhupada, when he went in front of deity, he is talking, he is praying, and he is expressing, and he gets a reciprocation from the Lord. So similarly, Lord is person. Yesterday also Prabhuji has clearly mentioned, Lord is not in person, Lord is a person. So we can express our feelings, we can express our thoughts where Lord reciprocates. Now here Chitraketu also is putting forward his prayers to the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. So prayers is something outpouring of a heart. We should pour out our heart to the Supreme Lord, so that we can able to share our feelings to the Lord. So the prayer is most important in our life, and with that prayer we can share our feelings, we can express our feelings, and Lord reciprocates. I can say my own experience, whenever we are in whatever the situation, good or bad, when we go in front of the deity and express our feelings, and there is a reciprocation. It could be through subsignals or or intuitions, whatever it is. Lord reciprocates. Lord gives his feelings, gives his reciprocation back. So that is especially for devotees, prayer is so important, so that we are able to understand the relationship between Supreme Lord and ourselves. So with this background, we will move on to the prayers of Chitraketu. Of course, the background is that Chitraketu is already lost his son, and son was revived by Narada, and son started speaking the philosophy, and finally the Chitraketu understood the real position of the devotee, and what is his position and what is his relationship, and who is this son, in how many lives he has taken in a different bodies. Now even Narada gave a very nice mantra to Chitraketu even before that prayer. He says, Om Namo Tubhyaya Bhagavate Vasudeva Dhimahi Pradyumna Niruddhaya Namaha Sankarshnaya Cha Namo Vijnana Matraya Padmana Paramananda Murtaye Atmarama Satya Nivrate Daitya Disthe. The translation. O Supreme Personality of Godhead, who are addressed by Omkara, Pranav, I offer my respectful obeisance unto you. O Lord Vasudeva, I meditate upon you. O Lord Pradyumna, Lord Aniruddha, Lord Sankarshana, I offer you my respectful obeisances. O Reservoir of Spiritual Potency, O Supreme Bliss, I offer my respectable obeisances unto you, who are self-sufficient and most peaceful. O Ultimate Truth, one without a second, you are realized, O Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan, and are therefore reservoir of all knowledge. I offer my respectable obeisance unto you. So this is the mantra Narada gives to Chitraketu, and of course later after that he understood the vision of Supreme Lord. He had darshan of the Supreme Lord, and then he started offering his prayers. So we'll start from the prayer 34, verse 34 from chapter 60. So I'll read the translation only. O unconquerable Lord, although you cannot be conquered by anyone, you are certainly conquered by the devotees who have control of mind and senses. They can keep you under their control because you are costlessly merciful to the devotees who desire no material profit from you. Indeed, you give yourself to them, and because of this, you have full control over your devotees. This is the real, wonderful reciprocation of devotee and Lord. So here Chitraketu saying, you are unconquerable. Although you are unconquerable, but you are conquered by the devotees. The Prabhupada sometimes gives example like how the small baby, controls mother or father. If a baby says you sit down, father may sit down. If the baby says that you make a kind of a horse, I want to sit on your back, father may do it because it's out of his love. Similarly here, even though Supreme Lord is unconquerable, he is beyond anyone, but he is conquered by the devotees. And Chitraketu says that they keep you under their control because you are costlessly merciful to devotees who desire no material profit. So this is the most important lesson for us. If you want complete control of Supreme Lord, we should not have anything else in our life other than Supreme Lord. That is the only desire, that yes, I need to serve that Supreme Lord. And when we have that pure uncontaminated love for him, Lord reciprocates. How much we reciprocate, he reciprocates same way, maybe much more than that. So if you give one step towards him, he keep 10 steps towards us. This is the kind of Lord's mercy. So Lord and the devotees are both can be conquered by the pure devotees. Example given how the gopis are conquered by the Supreme Lord. We just a small sound of flute, they leave everything and they ran towards the Supreme Lord. At the same time, Supreme Lord Krishna also conquered by them. He can do anything for them. That is a reciprocation of love between the gopis and Krishna. So that's why Supreme Lord is called Bhakta Vatsala. He's never called Jnani Vatsala or he's never called Karmi Vatsala. He always called Bhakta Vatsala. He is conquered by bhaktas, not jnanis or karmis or yogis. No one can do. We've seen recently in Damodara month, how Mother Yashoda is able to bind him, Supreme Lord, which the greatest yogis, thousands of years of meditation, they may not even get a glimpse of lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. Here, Mother is able to catch him, bind him, and punish him, chastise him, because it's her love, pure love. That's why in the Prabhupada, the purpose says our bhakti should be ahituki and aprathyata, unmotivated, uninterrupted. Our supreme service to Supreme Lord is always should be unmotivated, without any motivation, and should be uninterrupted. Ours is not the weekend devotion or morning devotion, evening devotion. No, devotees have no holiday. Devotees always devotees, whether it's Sunday, whether it's Monday, whether it's working day, public holiday, he is devotee. He cannot take break. So our devotion is, that's why Prabhupada named our movement as a Krishna conscious movement. We are always conscious of Krishna. So our devotion to the Supreme Lord is uninterrupted. There is no break in that. So that's why Rupa Goswami says, Anya Abhilashita Jnana Karma Jnanavritam Anukulena Anushilanam Bhakti Ruttamam. Our bhakti is Anya Abhilashita. There is no abhilasha. That's why here Chitraketu says there is no desire. The abhilashita. Actually, Rupa Goswami says that the tha means it's the desire. Even with the abhilasha, even the root of the desire, that should be removed. Anya abhilashita shunya, and jnana karma, no, and should be anukulena anushilana. That's a favorable to the Supreme Lord. Whatever he wants, that is the bhakti uttama. So that's the bhakti we should develop. So devotees know that their position is always to be eternally servant of the Supreme Lord, never to be one with the Supreme Lord. Again, Mayavada philosophy doesn't apply here. So devotees always to be desireless. Yes, desireless means only one desire is to serve the Supreme Lord, nothing else. No demigod worship, no other desires. So in Bhagavatam says, Savayam Pumsa Krishna Padar Vindu, like Ambarish Maharaj, how he engaged all his senses for the service of Krishna. So that is the role model for us. How we can engage all the 9 processes of bhakti in the service of Krishna. Prabhupada said, even if we take one, yes, we are able to attain the love of Godhead. But that is the ultimate for us. So Ambarish Maharaj has perfected all senses. So we should be able to use our complete body, sense, mind, intelligence for the service of the Krishna. So that is the ultimate here. So moving on to the next 35. My dear Lord, this cosmic manifestation and its creation, maintenance and annihilation, all but your opulences. Since Lord Brahma and other creators are nothing but small portion of you, their partial power and to create does not make them God, Ishvara. Their consciousness of themselves as a separate Lord is therefore merely false prestige. It is not valid. So Chitraketu is proving once again that worship of other demigods is not required. So they are the creation is only the smallest, the opulence of Supreme Lord, and they are not Ishvara. If they think themselves, their consciousness themselves is separate Lord, is therefore, he says, is a false prestige. We know the story of how Brahmaji was got bewildered when Krishna was with the Gopas, gopis, and taking care of the calves and cows. And we also know that when Brahmaji went to see Supreme Lord, when the gatekeeper asked, "Who are you?" he said, "Brahma." So they went and reported to Supreme Lord. Supreme Lord, which Brahma? So when the gatekeepers come and asked, Lord is asking, which Brahma? So Brahma got confused. He already thought that he's the only one Brahma. When went inside, there are 10-headed Brahma, 50-headed Brahma, 100-headed Brahma. There are so many other Brahmas because each universe there are different Brahmas. So now here Chitraketu is saying, if they think that they are Ishvara, they are controller, it's only the false prestige, it's not valid. So we as a devotees also need to understand that the worshipping of, Devi Devatas not required. Yes, I always said we can respect them, and we know they are also serving Supreme Lord. With that mood, we should respect them, because of course they are the greatest devotees of the Lord, serving the Supreme Lord. So we should not, need not worship them thinking that they are supreme, that they are not Ishvara. Like Brahmaji himself says that Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadiradir Sarvakarana Karana. He is the Sarvakarana, that is Supreme Govinda. So we need not worship any other, like Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Mavamsha Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatanaha. The living entities in this conditioned world are my eternal fragmental parts. We are all part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. So the credit for creating the aeroplanes should go to Supreme Lord, not the Wright brothers. Recently, I think, I don't know, Chaitanya Prabhu, I don't know, somebody was mentioning that. So all the creation is done by Supreme Lord, not, even Brahmaji creation also, it's only secondary creation. Even the here Prabhupada says that even the aeroplane, they are not created by the human being. The intelligence given by Supreme Lord, the material given by Supreme Lord. So everything is, source is coming from Krishna. So like at the same time, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Matha Smritir Jnanam Aphonam Cha. He says, from me, the memory is coming from me, intelligence is coming from me, forgetfulness is also coming from me. So everything given by Krishna, only the devotees are using it. Now, point is that how do we use that intelligence? How do you use that memory for the service of Supreme Lord? That is important. So we can use our intelligence for sense gratification and unwanted things. We can use our intelligence to service of the Krishna. That is the real intelligence. That people are, that kind of devotees are Sumedha. They are intelligent. So that is, purpose should be applied here. Moving on to 36. Translation. You exist in the beginning. Prabhu, move on to 36. Yeah. You exist in the beginning, middle, and end of everything. From the most minute particle of the cosmic manifestation, atom, to the gigantic universes, the total material energy. Nonetheless, you are eternal, having no beginning and end or middle. You are perceived to exist in these three phases, and thus you are permanent. When the cosmic manifestation does not exist, you exist as the original potency. So again, Chitraketu here talking about how Krishna is eternal. Krishna is the beginning. Krishna is the source. So, and he says, even if nothing exists, when whole the manifestation doesn't exist, he is existing. And when everything is annihilated, still he is exist. So he is the beginning, he is the end. There is nobody before him, nobody after him. So that is the greatness of Supreme Lord. So Prabhupada says, quoting Brahma Samhita, Advaitam Achyutam Ananta Rupam. I worship the Supreme Personality Godhead, Govinda, who is original person, absolute, infallible, without beginning, although expanded into the unlimited forms. Still the same original, the oldest, and the person always appearing as a fresh youth. Such eternal, blissful, all-knowing form of the Lord cannot be understood even by best Vedic scholars, but they are always manifest to pure, unalloyed devotees. So Prabhupada is quoting how Brahmaji is saying that the qualities, the nature of the Supreme Lord, it's not possible for anybody to understand. The greatest Jnanis, yogis cannot understand, but that can be understood by an unalloyed, pure devotees. So as a practicing devotee, for us also, our goal is to attain that, the pure devotion service, without any material desire, without any other desire other than serving the Lord, the uninterrupted, unalloyed devotion to the Supreme Lord. So that is the point here, Brahmaji also saying, Prabhupada says as, neither the host of demigods nor the greatest sages know my origin, nor the opulences. For every respect, I am the source of demigods and sages. Aham Adir Devanam, 10th chapter, second verses. So it's not possible for, Krishna himself saying, even for demigods, they're not possible to understand me. So that is the, understanding of the Supreme Lord. That is what Chitraketu is saying, saying that he is the source of, everything. Prabhupada says, Mattam Sarvam Pravartade. Krishna is the origin of and cause of everything. So that is the greatness of the Supreme Lord. Moving on to the 37. Every universe is covered by 7 layers: earth, water, fire, air, sky, the total energy, and false ego, each 10 times greater than the previous one. There are innumerable universes besides this one, and although they are unlimitedly large, they move about like atom in you. Therefore, you are called Ananta. Now, the scientist, what they're trying to find out, the scientist, they're trying to go into different planets. We know that when scientists said that they went to the moon, Prabhupada then and there said no, they cannot go, they could not have gone there, they cannot go to the moon. And of course, now some of the scientists agreeing that yes, they could not go to the moon. Now here the Chitraketu is saying that how the large is the creation is that these are the elements: earth, water, fire, air, sky. This one layer after one layer, it's 10 times greater than the previous one. So we can imagine how the great should be, how bigger the creation of the Supreme Lord. But all these are lying as a one small atom, and that, in the Supreme Lord. So that's why Chitraketu is saying that he is Ananta. There is no limit for him. The origin of material creation is Mahavishnu, who lies at the causal ocean. While he sleeps in the ocean, the millions of universes are generated, and when he exhales, one breathe out, the millions of universe comes in, and when he breathes in, all the millions of universes goes in. So this is how the creation happens. So this is how the Mahavishnu's body, whole the millions of universes are created. So that person is Supreme Lord. For him, Chitraketu is praying. And we are fortunate to have a direct access to the Supreme Lord in the form of deity, in the form of holy name, in the form of Bhagavad Gita, in the form of Bhagavatam. They are non-different. The Krishna's name is non-different. Krishna's Gita is non-different. Krishna's Bhagavatam is non-different. And the deity is non-different. So we are so fortunate that we can serve, we can reciprocate, we can react, we can, exchange our love with that Supreme Lord by associating with this wonderful, with the form of devotees and form of Lord. So Bhagavad Gita Krishna says, but what need there, Arjuna, for this detailed knowledge? With the single fragment of myself, I pervade and support an entire universe. So this is the conclusion, Krishna is telling Arjuna, what need for that origin, all this knowledge? Sometime we also start discussing, so many knowledges. Of course, Prabhupada also did not encourage too many knowledge. Yes, reading of Bhagavatam, scrutinizingly reading scriptures is required, but we should not be kind of knowledge honkers, going behind the knowledge, because we need to understand what is the purpose of knowledge and what we use that knowledge. That knowledge is that we should understand we are the servant of servant. Dasa, 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 anudasa. That is the greatest knowledge. So here Krishna is saying, I pervade and support the entire universes. And what is that big knowledge we are talking about? So we know how when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was, in Srirangam, the Brahmana who was reading Bhagavad Gita, Ulta, and he was crying. When Mahaprabhu asked him, why are you crying? He said, I'm illiterate, I can't read. But look at this person, the Supreme Lord, who is working as a driver, chariot driver for the devotees. How great is that? Understanding that, I'm crying. So Mahaprabhu said, yes, you understood the complete scriptures. You understood complete Bhagavad Gita. So in our life also, we need to understand the philosophy that we are the servant, he is the master. Everyone else is my master, I am the servant. So that is the mood we are developed, we are able to progress in our life. Moving on to 38. O Lord, O Supreme, unintelligent person who thirsts for sense enjoyment and who worship various demigods are no better than animals in the human form of life. Because of their animalistic propensities, they fail to worship you, Lordship, your Lordship, and instead they worship insignificant demigods who are but small parts of your glory. With the destruction of entire universe, including demigods, the benedictions received from the demigods are also vanished, just like nobility when king is no longer in power. So again, Chitraketu is, saying that those who worship demigods are unintelligent, are less intelligent. Of course, Krishna also says in Bhagavad Gita, those who worship, the demigods, their intelligence lost. Here, Chitraketu says they are not better than animals. So how harsh is that? They and who are the demigods? He says insignificant demigods. So we need to understand the philosophy what Chitraketu is giving there. Who are small sparks of your glory. So that is the point Chitraketu is making here. So we need to understand how we should worship and whom do you worship. And when we have access to the Supreme Lord, what is the need for going through so many other Devi Devatas? Because they are also serving Supreme Lord, and by serving Supreme Lord, they are also happy only. So there is no need to worship any other Prabhupada quotes akama sarva kamova, whether full of material desire, free from the material desires, or desiring liberation. A person who has broader intelligence must by all means worship the Supreme Whole Personality Godhead. Srimad Bhagavatam 2.3.10. So this is how our scripture is concluding how we should worship the Supreme Lord. So in this duty of perfect human being, one has to shape the human being, but whose actions are nothing but the animals called Narapashu or Dvipadapashu, or two-legged animals. So many times we see newspaper or TV, the news items coming. Those news items are not meant to be done by human. In the animal world, this kind of crime doesn't happen, but it happens in human life. So we are worse than animals. See, Chitraketu is saying that unless you start worshipping the Supreme Lord, you will not become even proper human being. We should not be. And there, the Prabhupada says they are Narapashu or Dvipada Pashu, or two-legged animal. We should understand that. With that, we should be able to progress in our bhakti. Moving on to 39. O Supreme Lord, a person obsessed with material desire for sense gratification through material opulences worship you, who are the source of all knowledge and transcendental to material qualities. They are not subject to material rebirth, just as a sterilized or fried seeds do not produce plants. Living entities are subjected to repetition of birth and death because of they are conditioned by material nature. But since you are transcendental, one who is inclined to associate with you in transcendental escapes the condition of material nature. So again, Chitraketu is saying how one who connects to Krishna consciousness, it will never escapes. It's like our karma is burnt, or he's saying like how sterilized the boiled the seeds cannot fructify. Similarly, when we start serving the Supreme Lord, when we connected to Krishna consciousness, our the karma gets burned, our material desires gets burned, and we start developing the pure love for, and that should be our desire. Our only desire is to serve the Lord, and that is what happens when we start chanting. When you take up Krishna consciousness seriously, we start chanting seriously. When we start chanting seriously, Krishna consciousness becomes serious. Once so some disciples asked Prabhupada, I'm not getting a taste in chanting, what should I do? Prabhupada said, you chant more. When we chant more, we get that taste for developing. So by stop chanting, we cannot develop taste for. So that is how we should chanting the holy name of Krishna. That is what helps us to progress in our bhakti. Like Krishna says, one who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance, janma karma chame divyam, he says that my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving the body, takes birth again this material world, but attains my abode. All that we need to understand, that Krishna's pastimes, Krishna's activities, Krishna's appearance, just understand tattvataha, understand in full, understand it. That's it. And Krishna guarantees that we can go back, we never take birth again. Even those who are obsessed with the material desires may also come to worship the Supreme Personality Godhead, so steadily they go back to it. We know Krishna says that there are 4 types of people, artho, artharthi, jnani, jnyasu. These people come. Everybody, if you look at many of the devotees, if you start speaking to them, they would have come to Krishna consciousness in one of these reasons. Either they are in trouble, or they wanted to know, or they want to understand, some reasons. I mean, very few people would have come, come to develop bhakti, but they come with this one of these forms. But once you connect it to devotees, they will engage them such a way that they develop a pure love for Krishna. Of course, other pure devotees associations, we develop bhakti, and with that we progress. So perfection of life is to be uninterested in the material enjoyment and interested in Krishna. So always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. That is a simple philosophy, two-liner, understand that. With that we can able to, progress in our bhakti. Moving on to 40. O unconquerable one who, when you spoke about Bhagavata Dharma, which is uncontaminated religious system for achieving the shelter of your lotus feet, and that was your victory. Persons who have no material desires, like Kumaras, who are self-satisfied sages, worship you to be liberated from the material contamination. In other words, they accept the process of Bhagavad Dharma to achieve the shelter of your lotus feet. So here Chitraketu is talking about Bhagavad Dharma. So Rupa Goswami says, Anya Bilashita Shunya is Srila Prabhupada refers that. So one should render a transcendental loving service to Supreme Lord in favorably. So that is a real Bhagavad Dharma. So, Bhagavatam also says that Dharmastu Bhagavat Pranitam. Whatever Lord says, that is the Dharma. Many times we started putting logic, in the material world today, there is a lot of discussion happens. Why Krishna was cheating, why Krishna did this, why Krishna killed Karna, why Krishna made Bhishma was killed, why Drona was killed like that, all these, arguments are there. They try to, prove. A few days before we were in book distribution, one is so-called Brahman, Iyengar. He comes and says, looks at the books and says that, do you have any book for Ravana? I said, Ravana's book? Why you want Ravana? No, I want to study about Ravana. I want to know more about Ravana. We said, read Ramayana, we can understand who is Ravana. No, I want to read only Ravana. Ravana is such a great person. I want to study about Ravana. No, this is I'm talking about a so-called Hindu, so-called Brahman. Their understanding is that how Ravana, the glorification of Ravana. So that kind of people are there in the market today, and that's how our so-called Hindu, of course, Prabhupada said that we are not Hindu, we are Sanatana Dharmas. So our whole culture is developed with that kind of education. So Prabhupada quotes here, Sarvopadi Nirmuktam Tat Pravartena Nirmalam Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam Bhaktiruttamam Bhaktiruchate. So one should be free from all the material designations and cleansed of all material contaminations. He should be restored to his pure identity, and in which he engages his senses in the service of the proprietor of the senses. That is called devotional service. The proprietor of the senses is Supreme Lord. We should engage all the senses like Amrish Maharaj. That is, and living up all the upadhis. Many times practicing devotees, somehow we see that we are also aspiring for some positions. Some we say servant, but we think that is a leadership, So, whatever, positions. So here, understand that the anchoring for positions, upadhis, that upadhi could be anything, at home, office, or temple, our congregation, what we have to give up. Our upadhi is only one. We are the servant. That is the only upadhi. That's nothing else. That's the understanding. That's what Chitraketu is saying here. So we can understand the difference between life without Bhagavad Dharma and life with Bhagavad Dharma. Thus, he ever remains obliged to Supreme Lord. So that is what Prabhupada concludes here, saying that if you understand, Supreme Lord with Bhagavad Dharma, that is where we can understand. Prabhupada again quotes Savai Pumsa. So we'll move on to verse next, 41. Being full of contradictions, all forms of religion but Bhagavad Dharma work under a conception of fruitive results and destinations of you and I, and yours and mine. The followers of Srimad Bhagavatam have no such consciousness. They are all Krishna consciousness, thinking that they are Krishna's and Krishna is theirs. There are other low-class religious systems which are contemplated for killing of enemies or the gain of mystic power. But such religious system, being full of passion and envy, are impure and temporary, because they are full of envy and they are full of irreligion. Now, here Chitraketu again saying, you and I, yours and mine. So this again, the bodily conceptions, how we connect. Even for a practicing devotees, that is the most important point we need to, apply in our life. Wherever, as much as possible, we need to understand I'm not this body. Because, one devotee asked Srila Prabhupada, in every lecture, why are you talking about you're not this body, you're not this body? So Prabhupada said, did you understand that you are not the body? So unless we understand we are not this body, then the connections, you and I, cannot go. Even today, there is a discussion happening when devotees supporting some political party, or in the name of nation, we are Indians, we are supporting, of course, India, Pakistan, whatever. So that is a point here. We are not Indians, we are not Americans, we are not Pakistanis, we are spirit soul. We are beyond that. We are much beyond that. So the devotees are there in other countries also. We need to understand that. So Krishna consciousness has no boundaries. Even how when Srila Prabhupada, Abhay met Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So Prabhupada, the Abhay started talking about independence. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, no, your independence can stop, but preaching Krishna consciousness is most important. That is the urgency. So we need to understand that. So here also Chitraketu is saying that the followers of Srimad Bhagavatam have no such consciousness. They are called Krishna conscious, thinking that they are Krishna's and Krishna is theirs. Again, we need to understand. So there was a person, he was saying that, yes, you are saying you are Krishna's, Krishna is yours, right? So everything belongs to Krishna, and whatever belongs to Krishna belongs to me. So let me enjoy. Correct? So everything belongs to Krishna. Whatever belongs to Krishna also mine. So let me enjoy. So that is not the understanding here. Understanding is that everything belongs to Krishna. I'm also belong to Krishna. I'm here to serve Krishna. Not that I can enjoy whatever belongs to Krishna. So that is not the point here. So Chitraketu is making it point is that such religious system is being full of passion and envy and impure and temporary because they are full of envy. So the enviness should be taken out of life of devotees, because envy, we cannot serve Supreme Lord. So whatever God orders, construction, dharma sakshat bhagavan pranitam. So that is the real dharma we should practice. Prabhupada is purport saying that if one is actually Krishna conscious, he cannot have enemies, since his only engagement to induce others to surrender to Krishna or God. How can we have enemies? Prabhupada puts this point in the purport. There are many activities directed against such religious system, and therefore one must give up of my belief and your belief. There is no concoctions. We know how Srila Prabhupada, when wanted to write Bhagavad Gita, so he's mentioned that there are more than 600 Gitas available in the market. Each one put their own views in it. So here Prabhupada again saying that there is no my belief, your belief. Yes, what Krishna has told, what Krishna wants, that is what the ultimate. Everyone should believe in God and surrender to Him. That is the Bhagavad Dharma. Prabhupada concludes here. A devotee, therefore, exactly like a Supreme Personality Godhead, Suhridam Sarva Bhutanam, quoting, Bhaktaranyata Sarva Loka Maheshwara, Suhridam Sarva Bhutanam. He is a friend of all living entities, therefore, he is the best of all religious systems. So, Supreme Lord is the best friend, and such devotees cannot have any enemy. So, move on to 42. How can a religious system that produces envy of oneself and others beneficial for oneself and for them? What is auspicious about following such system? What is actually be gained by causing pain to one's own self due to self-envy, and by causing pain to others? One arouses your anger and practice religion. So again, talking about how envy, even today we can see in the name of religion, there's so many things happening, murders happening, so many, the hatred happens in the name of religion. So here, what is that religion? It's not religion at all. It's irreligion, So the even within our so-called Hindu, there are a lot of contradictions, enviness, fighting each other, demeaning someone else, saying that no, my process is better, your process is not good. All these are not what Chitraketu is saying. It's not religion, it's religion. Prabhupada quotes here from Bhagavad Gita, says, bewildered false ego, strength, pride, lust, anger, and demon becomes envious of Supreme Personality Godhead, who is situated in his own body and bodies of others, and blaspheme against real religion. Those who are envious and mischievous, who are lowest among men, are cast by me into the ocean of material existence, into various demoniac species of life. Bhagavad Gita 16, 18 and 19, 16 chapter 18 and 19. So the envious persons are put into the material world. Yes, we are also somehow, some other time we are envy of Supreme Lord. That's why we are here. Now at least we realize that, yes, we are here. We have to get out of it. So once I think someone has asked, this one is Jayaditya Maharaj, how we came here, So Jayaditya Maharaj said, when somebody pushed you into the well, don't ask who pushed you into, how I pushed you, try to get out of it. Come out of it, otherwise you'll die. So we are here already. So let's think and how to get out of this, get back to Supreme Lord. So that is the mood in which we should Prabhupada again quotes from Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay. Duties of dharma executed by men regardless of occupation are only much useless labor if they are not provoked attraction for message of Supreme Lord. It says Shrama Evahi Kevalam. Unless the benefit of the Supreme Lord, unless it is done for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord, the whole work we are done will be waste. Shrama Evahi Kevalam. So we need to understand that. With that understanding, whatever bhakti we do should be the pleasure of the Lord. We'll move on to the 43rd. My Lord, one's occupational duty is instructed in Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita according to your point of view, which never deviates from the highest goal of life. Those who follow their occupational duties under your supervision, being equal to all living entities, moving and non-moving, and not considering high and low, are called Aryans. Such Aryans worship you, the Supreme Personality Godhead. Again, Chitraketu is talking about what is Bhagavad Dharma. So Bhagavad Dharma is what mentioned in Bhagavad Gita. What is mentioned in Bhagavatam? That is Bhagavad Dharma. Sorry. It's not that what I concoct something, what each one thinks that this is what could be or this is what may be. No, there is no could, there's no may. It is what Lord said, it's what Lord wanted. So Bhagavad Dharma and Krishna Katha are identical. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that's why he has given so much importance to read Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. So even today, the Srila Prabhupada's books have been distributed. Not just distributed, we need to read and scrutinizingly understand what Prabhupada wanted to communicate, what Prabhupada wanted to say, so that we can transform our life. That is what the Bhagavad Dharma will start from that. Bhagavad Dharma will start when you understand Prabhupada books. The Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself was daily, hearing, Dhruva Maharaj pastimes, Prahlad pastimes from Gadadhar Pandit. So other day I was hearing about my Gurudev, his only Jayapataka Maharaj. He is saying that daily reading Srimad Bhagavatam, he says that I've written many times, but still I daily read. That is shows how important reading Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. So Prabhupada books, how important it is in our life. So Bhagavad Dharma means living according to the instructions of Supreme Personality Godhead. So that's simple. There's nothing else. What is the meaning of civilization? That all kind of oneself to others. Prabhupada says, if you're thinking that I and you, there is no civilization. And we are here to spread Krishna conscious movement, to try to establish a society of which Krishna wants it. So this Krishna conscious movement, this is what Krishna wanted. Of course, we have the kind of evidence in Puranas, where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself said that my Senapati will come. Later, Bhaktivinoda Thakur said that. So Prabhupada established that. Now it's our duty is to take it forward and use this time now. Gita Marathon time, distribute Srila Prabhupada books and make people who are not aware of it, and give this mercy to others also, so that they also can take Krishna consciousness seriously. So moving on to the next sloka, 44. My Lord, it is not impossible for one who to be immediately freed from all material contamination by seeing you, not to speak about seeing you personally, merely by hearing the holy name of your Lordship. Only once, even Chandalas, men of the lowest class, are freed from all material contaminations. Under circumstances, who will not be freed from material contaminations simply by seeing you? Chitraketu is saying that once he had darshan of the Supreme Lord, how the whole transformed life. We know how other pastimes are. So like in Dhruva pastimes, Dhruva wanted the biggest, the planet. But when Supreme Lord darshan is, he thought whatever I was asking, broken glasses, now I got the diamond. So here also, Chitraketu saying that, forget seeing you, just hearing your holy name, all our desires can be fulfilled. We can be even, he says, even Chandalas, the lowest of the men, just by uttering your holy name purely once, we can attain the love of Godhead. There is one incident, somebody is asked, how long will it take to, become a pure devotee? Prabhupada says 1 minute. He says just 1 minute. Once you chant Krishna's name purely, sincerely, you can become a Krishna, get love of Godhead. So the gap between me and Lord is one holy name that I need to utter with the sincere love and affection. That is what required. That sincere desire is required. So that's what Chitraketu is saying. So as stated in Srimad Bhagavatam, simply by hearing the holy name of Lord, one can immediately purify it. The 9th canto, 5th chapter, 16th verse. So, Prabhupada quotes here, Harir Nama Iva Kevalam, Kalo Nasteva, Kalo Nasteva, Kalo Nasteva Gatiranyata. So there is no other way. There is no other way. There is no other gati. In Harir Nama, Harinama, Harinama is the only one process. With that process, only we can, succeed in this Kali Yuga. Because this age is full of quarrel, full of miseries, and we as a practicing devotees should be very, very careful, because Maya attacks, that place also. We also get the kind of difference opinion, so we need to understand how seriously we should take up the holy name. So we'll move on to the 45. Therefore, my dear Lord, simply seeing you has now wiped away all the contamination of sinful activities and the results of material attachments and lusty desires, which always filled my mind and core of my heart. Whatever is predicted by the great sage Narada Muni cannot be otherwise. In other words, I have obtained your audience as a result of being trained by Narada Muni. So, Chitraketu, appreciating the spiritual master Narada Muni. We as a practicing devotees also should be very, very appreciative about the devotees who connected us to Krishna consciousness, and of course who has given us to Siksha, and our spiritual master who has taken the shelter, who has given us a shelter in his lotus feet. So that, of course, Srila Prabhupada. So this gratitude we should have it. So that gratitude, the attitude of the gratitude will help us to progress further. Because here Chitraketu is saying, it's all because of Narada, who gave me this knowledge, who gave me this mantra, who gave me these instructions. And because of him, I got the darshan of the Supreme Lord. So that is the process of perfect way. One must take lessons from authorities like Narada, Vyasa, Asita. Prabhupada says here, to follow their principles, then we'll be able to see the Supreme Lord, even when one's own eyes. We need to take the instructions of seniors very seriously. Seniors, when you talk about the seniors, I remember one of the lecture, His Grace Amarendra Prabhu says that, who is senior? Is it seen number of years? Seen years? I joined in, 10 years before. Other devotee joined 9 years. So I become senior by 1 year. So he says, not the seen years, seen near. The devotee who is seen near to the devotee is senior. Devotee who is with the devotees, who is seen near to devotee is senior, not seen years. So that's the point. We need to understand that I cannot become senior just because I taken up Diksha, 10 days before other devotees, I become senior. Many times we see this, right? So we're saying that, no, they are junior, I'm senior, So that's why, we need to understand here, our seniority doesn't come here. Seniority comes, we need to understand how we practice our devotion service. And for us, everybody is senior. Who has taken up Krishna consciousness seriously, they are senior. And we need to take instruction from them. We need to, continue our journey with them. So we'll move on to the next. O unlimited Supreme Personality Godhead, whatever a living entity does in this material world is well known to you because you are the Super Soul in the presence of the sun, and there is nothing to be revealed by the light of glowworm. Similarly, because you know everything and your presence is, there is nothing for me to make known. Yes. So sometimes people say, why should I pray to the Lord? Lord is there in my heart. Lord knows what I want. Why I ask? You know what? So that's why Chitraketu saying that, yes, you know everything, but I'm sharing my realization to you. You are unlimited Supreme Personality Godhead. Whatever living entities does in the material world is well known to you. It's like he gives analogy like how in front of sun the glowworm, the worm cannot show any light, but with my knowledge, my intelligence, I cannot do anything. But I need to express my love to the Supreme Lord by the prayer. So that's what Chitraketu is saying. We'll move on to the next. I think time is running out. So, my Lord, you are the creator, maintainer, annihilator of the cosmic manifestation. But persons who are too materialistic and who are always separatedness do not have eyes with which to see you. They cannot understand you real position, and therefore they conclude that the cosmic manifestation is independent of you, your opulences. My Lord, you are the supreme pure, and you are full of six opulences. Therefore, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Yes, Parasharamani defines who is Bhagavan. Bhagavan is the person who has got all the six opulences, Shad Aishwaryas in 100%. And Chitraketu is saying, you are full in six opulences, and you are the creator, you are the maintainer, you are the annihilator. For the maintenance purpose, you would have given a certain job, creation for Brahma, maintenance for Vishnu, and annihilation for Shiva. But Krishna is the origin of, and nobody can separate. And the people who are too much materialistic attitude, they think about separateness. We want separate. We want our identity. You know, even in devotee practice, sometimes we say that this is my congregation, this is my group, this is mine. You know, that kind of separation is there. So that separateness is not, do not have eyes with which we can see the Lord. We cannot see the Lord. His Holiness Radhanaswami Maharaj says that go to the temple not to see the Lord. Go in the mood Lord sees you. So that's the mood in which we should approach the Lord. When that mood we go and approach the Lord, Lord can see you. That's what we need to see the Lord. Well, last one. My Lord, my dear Lord, it is after you endeavor that Lord Brahma, Indra, and other directors of the cosmic manifestation become occupied the activities. It is after you perceive the material energy, my Lord, that sense begin to perceive. The Supreme Personality Godhead holds all the universes, his heads like seeds of mustard. I offer my respectable obeisances unto you, Supreme Personality God, who has 1,000 hoods. Ananta Shesha, with 1,000 hoods, is not able to glorify the Supreme Lord. Still going on. It's not finished. It's still going on. So that the unlimited glories of the Supreme Lord, Chitraketu is putting forward prayers here. So we also will not be able to complete, will not be able to conclude the glories of the Supreme Lord. Glories of Supreme Lord is unlimited. There is no end to that. But with our limited intelligence, with our limited memory, we should offer our prayers. And these prayers are really wonderful, transform our heart so that we can reciprocate to the Lord. We can go and exchange our love and views with the Lord, and Lord will reciprocate accordingly with us. So this is our conclusion. With the conclusion here, most important point for us is that how we associate with the devotees, how sadhu sangha is important. With the sadhu sangha, along with the sadhus, along with the devotees, we develop our bhakti, we develop the taste for chanting the holy name, and with that chanting, with that like the Prabhupada's kind of the temple Prabhupada built, the ISKCON temple, the whole world can live. It's like some other day, some devotee was mentioning, it's like Prabhupada's ATM. So it's a all-time mercy Prabhupada has kept. All that require is that the debit card, the chanting bead, and our pin code is Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. With this pin code, put the chanting bead, hand into the chanting bead, take unlimited mercy. The ATM is open in Prabhupada's lotus feet. So with that, we will conclude here. So if devotees, please give your feedback, comments, if I made some mistakes, correction. Haribol. Om Tat Sat.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. It was a very wonderful class. I had one thing which you rightly said about the seniors and about I had heard it myself and just wanted to add something to that. We generally see in our Krishna consciousness two things. One is seniority and another is advancement. So seniority comes by time, like somebody spending some movement, just like me for a long time. People might sometimes mistaken others as senior, but Chitraketu himself has this realization that his own son, though at a small age, he comes back and instructs him of the message. He understands that it is advancement which is more important. So, see, versus seniority versus advancement, as you rightly said, seen near people, that's true. But time makes one senior, but realizations and practice makes one advanced. And here Chitraketu is also talking about the advanced souls. But thank you so much for touching on various topics. Very wonderful. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prasadeshwara Prabhu.
Mercy.
No, Jai. Prabhupada ki Jai, Guru Maharaj ki Jai. This particular verse, number 38, which heavily hits, to the roots. We become fortunate because somehow or other we associated with the devotees or Prabhupada, Guru Maharaj Mercy. All our relatives and friends, as per Bhagavatam, they're still animal. Especially Chitraketu's very strong statement. Those who are worshipping, other devatas, they are no better than animal. Prabhupada translated this very strongly. No better than animals in the human form of life. Because why they are no better than animal? The animalistic propensity of dharma, artha, kama is very profound in them. So it's our prime most duty that we extend the Krishna consciousness to our relatives, our friends, somehow or other, like offering them prasadam, serving them with a loving mode, with a very humbly, not offending them, that is our prime most duty. That is what I learned from these prayers. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Dandavat Pranam Prabhu.
Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji. Very nice class. Thank you. There is just one point more I would like to add in continuation with what Haridas Prabhu said about seniority and advancement. And this is a quotation from Prabhupada. I don't know where he took it from, but I heard it in one of the classes that, say you have two devotees and both of them are God brothers, and one devotee is younger than the other by, say, 5 or 6 years. But the younger devotee has got initiation and has been serving the Guru Maharaj, spiritual master, for a longer period of time than the elder devotee who could have taken initiation afterwards. Prabhupada said that the younger devotee for the elder devotee is practically equal to the spiritual master, merely because he has served the spiritual master for a longer duration than the elder devotee who could have taken initiation later. So there goes the question of time versus advancement.
Yes, true.
Prabhuji, just want to add it. The time versus advancement, it's not depends on this particular birth. That's what you must understand. We don't know that devotee how much practiced in his previous life, what was his spiritual progress, what was his spiritual balance. We see only this particular life, which is like a flickering moment if comparing with the Brahma's duration. Right?
Yes,
So even a small child can be a very exalted devotee. We do not know.
That the child being the exalted devotee, which we saw in Chitraketu's case itself.
Yeah.
But the example which Prabhupada gave is for the current day generation who do not think in terms of previous life, past life, what we have done, what is the excess baggage we have brought, etc. Those sort of equations do not come into the fore. They only think, okay, he is younger than me, okay, he must be less advanced. So to address that point, particularly, Prabhupada gave this example.
Yes.
Yeah, that's wonderful. In fact, one other thing also is very well brought by Kadam Kanan Swami Maharaj. He gives a very nice example on this because many people will also hear the flip side of the story, that is seniority versus advancement.
It's true.
And then hence understanding this will not give respect to the senior devotees.
True.
Because they think that it is advancement where we have to give respect.
I'm advanced.
So there he mentions the necessity is there to give respect to senior devotees also. Because how by seniority? Either by initiation date, either by age, either by coming to Krishna consciousness above us, or either by position as temple president and GPC members and many others. So like that, seniority has to be still given respectful. The Ramanina Manadena has to be there.
Correct.
But,
that is right.
But find out the advancement portion.
Yeah, but in the normal parlance, we tend to forget these nuances and we think, oh, he is younger than me, okay, I am senior.
Correct.
That is the question which Prabhupada addressed. And talking of this animalistic propensities, we all know this verse, Krishna Swadhama Pagate Dharma Jnanadvi Saha, that 1:343. Prabhupada writes a very telling statement in his purport. In the Kali Yuga, the population is just the royal addition of the animals. They have nothing to do with spiritual knowledge or godly or religious life. I mean, so, and this is what was foreseen by the sages in Naimisharanya when they did the 1,000-year yagya, as to how the people of Kali Yuga would be able to contend with that age. And Prabhupada brings it out that they are just a royal addition of the animals, which is what was mentioned also by Chitraketu. Of course, this is more specific to Kali Yuga, this comment by Srila Prabhupada.
Yeah. I think for us to take home is that we should give up this animalistic attitude. We should, as practicing devotees, once we connected to Prabhupada, we should, understand Bhagavad Dharma and start progressing further. That is the most important for us to, take home, especially for me.
I met some person who is mentioned like Krishna gave instruction that become Bhagavad Gita. Krishna didn't give instruction to me. When he gives instruction personally to me, I will take up.
Okay.
What to speak is exalted devotee, hey, Krishna will come personally to you.
You wait. You wait here, no problem.
And there are people who says this is Arjuna's prayers, not my prayers, because their knowledge is stolen by illusion, by desires. So they don't appreciate their great Bhagavatas. They're eternal associate of the Lord. We have to learn how to pray. They don't have that mood. There is they argue with, as you said, why I am saying in context with the Ravana, who is inspired by Ravana, you missed the opportunity. You must have told, yes, that Ravana is none other than the servant of Krishna, who was the gatekeeper.
Yes.
So his Purvika is this. So you please take this Bhagavad and Bhagavatam. Next time, if you see anyone, don't leave them, because all the asuras also comes from Krishna. So tell them we're all one family, but political issues of family problem.
I mean, that person is very clear. He doesn't want Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Ramayana.
Yeah.
He wants.
Ravana only.
Okay.
So this is very true, Satyash Prabhu. There are many people who like this come to the book table, and you're right. Some people, as Prasadeshwara Prabhu, you also mentioned, there's one time when a person comes across and says that he not only wants to hear from Krishna. After he said that, if Krishna tells me, I will listen personally. He said, why are you selling this book for 180 rupees? Because Krishna gave it free in Kurukshetra. So I said, so we were saying, but my dear Prabhu, where are you standing? You're standing at the other station. Where did Krishna give? Kurukshetra. So logistical cost is there. So you please take
Delivery
Bhagavad Gita.
cost.
So people are like that. They even if you give them for free, they will not take it.
You
And,
must have told those days no GST, now GST also.
Yes. So yeah, very nice. But thank you so much,
Thank you,
Prasad,
Prabhu.
for very nice churning of the verses.
Thank you.
Wonderful
Hare
class,
Krishna.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Dandot Prabhuji, wonderful class, Prabhuji. I just wanted to ask one thing, Prabhuji. Earlier, we were doing some book distribution, but now it's not possible. Like we want, I just have feeling like at least one Bhagavatam I should give it to someone. I should sell it, but it couldn't be possible. I don't know why. Nowadays, at least we can't do this book selling also. But like you were so many times you were explaining about book distribution and all. You have so many experiences, Prabhuji. Please guide me how I could improve my, like I don't have now. I don't do, but I want to do that. I want to sell Prabhupada's books and Bhagavatam, at least I could convince someone. I feel I'll be very blessed, Prabhuji. Please guide me for that.
I'm not a book distributor at all. I just go behind the devotees and stand there. The devotees are doing. Yeah, now also, after even the corona is there, last 15 days we started, we are doing every weekend at least 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 3 days we do. And Sundays also we go different places and we try our best. Of course, we don't have to worry on what result is that. We need to put our effort. You know, Vaishasika Prabhu in one of seminars says, don't think about how many books you sold, what you sold. You put your desire, put your step on the street. Then Prabhupada will inspire you. Prabhupada will take care of that.
Yeah, one practical way which I see devotees now taking up is previously in marriages. In marriages, people used to give gifts. Now everybody is going the e-way of giving gifts, and it is a great nuisance for the planners of the marriage event to think about how to deliver this particular gift. So one way is, Mataji, if you know somebody who is getting married, just reach out to them and say, while you give your gifts in the e-way to many devotees, you can also slip in the Bhagavad Gita, which is minimal cost. And from a marriage cost perspective, Bhagavad Gitas are very simple. And at the same time, it will reach at least 200, 300 Bhagavad Gitas. You can do it immediately. On the Bhagavatam, there is another idea that that devotees are doing nowadays is, in the local temples, there are pujaris. And of course, they do not have much of money because they themselves are very less money. But reaching out to pious devotees to give Bhagavatam has greater merits and benefits. So talking and making even those demigod worshippers, if you talk to them, because even they have to be brought to Krishna consciousness, like Chitraketu is saying. We talk to those pujaris and they slowly take one book, small book, one large book, one medium book. In a course of 1 year, 2 years, they will take Srimad Bhagavatam because they will appreciate Srila Prabhupada's books. So local temple pujaris, demigod worship, they are the best suited person to take immediately Krishna consciousness. So that is another source of book distribution. If you are alone and do not have the devotee support to go and book a book table, these are some of the immediate avenues where we can distribute books.
Yeah, maybe there are
Haridas Prabhu
devotees who
in...
would.
Yeah,
There
Prabhu.
are,
Prasadeshwara, please.
sorry, there are devotees who are distributing books, but they don't have money. So we can help them, you know, by Shastradana. So they will definitely go and give to the needy. That's also we can do. As Haridas Prabhu said, you know, last week one of our devotee one of his father's friend came to his house to invite them for daughter's marriage. So Prabhu was talking, and so he said, "Why don't you give some gift?" So he said, "What gift?" And he convinced that he has taken all 150 Bhagavad Gita to their marriage, and for each guest, one free Bhagavad Gita from the host. The Prabhu has went and distributed around 100, 150 Bhagavad Gita, from the host expenses. So this is how we should make use of the opportunities.
Prabhu, I just share my experience. 2018, two of my cousins, they got married. So they invited me, please, you must visit, whether I must it, whether I get leave or not. But on behalf of me, there will be a gift to everybody whoever visit your marriage. Then I send them like 2,000 books, each of them. In the whoever visit, they give the tambul, that packet. In that, every proper small books was kept inside and then distributed. So whoever came, the book reached to their home safely. Nobody knows that the book is inside, but we kept the book safely inside. And the beauty is there are so many atheists also came to the marriages. They also got the book. So there are many ways, and especially now in Middle East, if you see e-book distribution, just give the address of your ex-schoolmates, college mates. And now so many communication modes are there. Just get their address and send the books. And when they read, they become devoted, they will offer the money back. It's a good investment. So for one of my cousin, she worked in Infosys, HCL, Wipro and all. Because of this, she got tired, she resigned. Now she want to read, she's having a good habit of book reading. I sent one full Bhagavatam set. She became mad after Bhagavatam. She finished first canto, So where were this book all these days? He said it was there, but you were not, spending time, So there are people, there are souls waiting for Krishna. So it's our duty. Her husband is, what you are reading, old books, Puranas. Then the husband is supporting now. Okay. Anyway, you are not disturbing me now. You please read the books. So there are many ways.